and welcome back to another video. My name's Destiny. I do book things here, and today we're going to talk about my July TBR. So we're going to do this in three parts. First, I'm going to talk about what I'm currently reading at this moment, and then we're going to talk about what I plan on reading from the library, and then what I plan for reading from my own shelves. So I'm excited to get into this. Without further ado, let's go into it. So first, let's talk about what I'm currently reading. The first thing I'm currently reading is Cora Thorne and Roses by Sarah J. Maas. I am rereading this. I am rereading to annotate because it's been so long since I read it. I checked my Storygraph / Goodreads because I imported from Goodreads to Storygraph, and I read this in 2018. December of 2018, actually. So it's been almost 5 years since I read this, and I'm so excited. I'm absolutely loving it. I'm currently 102 pages through it. I am reading a chunk of 100 pages at a time, and then you're going to get an annotate with me. So I'm filming myself annotating it while I read it. So yeah, I picked that up. And then I have, not sure if it's an ARC, but I was sent a review copy from the publisher, or from the author herself, actually, in exchange for a review on Instagram, and that is Shattered Dreams by Abby Rhodes. This follows Helena, and Helena has just gotten out of prison. She was in prison for 10 years for supposedly murdering her boyfriend, and then we also get to meet, did it tell me his name? I don't think it tells me his name. Hold on, I'm 50 pages through it. Let's see if I can find his name. Thomas. We meet Helena and Thomas. So we meet Helena in the first chapter. She is still in prison. She's a night away from getting out. And there is a girl gang, for lack of a better term, in the prison that's about to kill her. And then we flash forward to Thomas. Thomas is a FBI agent who gets called out on a murder scene where his stepdad is currently investigating, and his mother has just passed. This does have trigger warnings already for SA, child abuse, and there was one there, violence. It is a very dark one. I love her sense of humor so far, and I love the crassness of it. I'm honestly enjoying this so much. Like I said, I'm 50 pages through it. I just started it yesterday. If you want all of my thoughts, the post will be up on the 18th of July. I'm hoping to have it done way sooner than that. And there will be a post probably here for a review and on my blog. I think I'm going to do all three. So yeah, those are the two I'm currently reading as this moment. And I'm enjoying them both, honestly. Now, on to what I plan to read from the library. So what I plan to read from the library, I have a stack of four. Okay, I have 4 books here from the library. Some of them are rollovers from last month. Some of them I had to take back, so I didn't get a chance to get to them. But I'm hoping once I get into a groove and I finish Shattered Dreams that I'm going to pick up one of these and read it, and then kind of flip back and forth between my library TBR and my physical. But the first one on my library TBR is Sorry about that. My bookmark decided I didn't want to say in the book. Escaping Houdini by Carrie Monacello. So this is the third in the Stalking Jack the Ripper series. If you've never heard of this follows Audrey. Audrey lives in London around the time, I want to say 1800s, am I right? I don't remember for the life of me. It is a historical YA thriller. So Audrey lives in the time of Jack the Ripper. She ends up getting involved because her uncle is a coroner, and they're getting a lot of the bodies of the women who Jack has killed. And Audrey sets upon herself to figure out who Jack the Ripper is. And she ends up meeting up with a man, I think Thomas is 18, that is in her uncle's class, and they end up trying to solve Jack the Ripper. They end up trying to solve Jack the Ripper mystery. The second one is Hunting Prince Dracula, and in that one, they end up in Romania at school to become coroners, and people start coming missing, bodies come dead, and of course they're thrown into it trying to figure it out, who did it, who killed them. And now this is the third edition, and yeah, I'm really enjoying these. Next is one that I didn't get to, if you watch my wrap up, I talk kind of loosely about it, and I liked it so much that I actually checked out the second one. I think this may be the one to pick up next, and that is Legendary by Stephanie Garber. This is the second one in the Caraval series. I never got into the Caraval hype. I started listening to the audiobook back when it was so popular. Never really finished it, and I ended up listening to it last month and fell in love. I had so many questions by the end of the first one, so now I have Legendary in my hands. If you don't know what this is about, this follows two sisters who, one gets wrapped up in So Donatella gets wrapped up in the game of Carnival. She's trying to save her sister Scarlet, and no, it's the other way around. I'm sorry. Scarlet gets wrapped up in the game of Carnival and is trying to save Donatella, and people are ending up dead, and like the stakes are really high. And at the end of the last one, you find out some shocking news that just drives you to pick up the next one. Like, you want to know what's going on. And I have so many questions, so I have that. Next is one I didn't think I was going to pick up. I didn't think I was going to check out. But as I was walking around the library, it like jumped off the shelves at me. And I was like, you know what? I kind of need more of that fever dream. And physically reading it, I think I could get really on board with that fever dream. And that is Don't Fear the Reaper by Stephen Graham Jones. If you know my history of Mr. Graham Jones, I have not really cared for a lot of his books. Now, the first one, which is... why can't I think of the name of it? My Heart is a Chainsaw. It took me a little while to get through it. And by the end, I love the over-the-top B-movie horror that it was. It was a fucking fever dream, and it was an escape from reality that I really enjoyed. So I figured, why not pick up Don't Fear the Reaper? This one actually picks up after the events of My Heart is a Chainsaw. We're with Jade again. Jade is obsessed with horror movies. Like, she is determined to live out her horror movie fantasies. And in the first one, she is trying to convince everybody around her that there is a horror movie going on here. And because she has seen so many of these, and because she is so obsessed, she's the only one that sees it. And none of them believe her, and shit starts happening. People are dying, and no one believes Jade that there is a horror movie playing out here. And now we go on to the second one, where Jade is back again, being her over-the-top self, and I absolutely love it. The last one on my list, I was standing in the library really trying to like argue with myself whether I had this one or not. I thought I had read it. I don't have it on my shelf, so clearly I never read it. And I have finished book 4 in the series, and this one just doesn't seem to fit. I feel like I should go into the next one, not this one, but let's talk about it. That is Charmed by Tracy Wolff. This is the 5th in the Crave series. I'm still not sure where I'm going with this. This one, according to all the lists I have found and everything I have read, this should be the 5th book. But it seems like this one may be just from Hudson's point of view, so I'm a little confused. I honestly don't know. And like I was trying to see if the inside cover gave me any kind of clue. It really doesn't. If I remember the synopsis correctly when I Googled it, this one is basically a book of what happened when Hudson and Grace were stuck in her head, I think. Like I said, I finished the 4th book, which is Court. I know how that ended, and when I finished Court, I did not think I was going to pick up anymore. I did not like the way we were thrown into the next conflict. And these books for me already are like bad TV. They're just something to escape reality, and I love them because of how over the top, ridiculous, and convoluted they are. So I'm borrowing it from the library because I did not want to spend my hard-earned money on it and then feel like I didn't need it in the first place. I am not a completionist at all when it comes to my books, so if I don't think this one is warranted and I just want to go into the next one, which I can't think of the name of it, it's a C2, I can't think of a name, I think it's Cherish, which supposedly picks up after Court, so I'm confused. But I do have Charm, and I do want to read it just to see what I think. It is another monster of a book, but these I get through so fast. This one is... I'm trying to find out. Hold on. It's one of those where they advertise other books that this publishers come out in the back of it. This one is 552. So 552 pages. So I will come back and let y'all know what I think. There's a full review on my channel for the first 3. So if you want to know what I thought of those and catch you up, I will say these are very, very convoluted. If you were a Twilight girly, if you were a Vampire Academy girly back then, these might hold just a little bit of nostalgia for you. I went into Crave not knowing a damn thing, and I am so happy I did because it was so funny, and like her humor and her poking fun made more sense than if I had read the front cover and then went into it. So yeah, I think that's why this one doesn't really have a synopsis. It just has like a, honestly to me it says like an excerpt. It just has like a book page, a quote from the book on the inside cover. So that is my library TBR. So there's 4 there that I'm hoping to get to this month. The only one that I can't recheck and won't have in my possession if I don't get it done is Escaping Houdini. So either I will start with Escaping Houdini or I'll go in Legendary, 1 of the 2. I'm feeling like Escaping the Houdini, but we shall see. Now to go on with my physical TBR. So there are 7 here for that. To start off with, I have this month have decided that I'm going to finish series. That is the goal. So I do want to reread A Thorn of Glass. And like I said, I'm rereading A Court of Thorn and Roses right now. My copy of A Court of Mist and Fury, I can't remember if it is annotated or not. If it is not annotated, then I may do what I'm doing with A Court. Read 100 pages, annotate it on camera for you, and then go on. But until I finish A Court, I'm not even going to mess with that. We're going into finishing series. So the first one is King of Crows by Libba Bray. This is the 4th one in the Diviner series. If you've never heard of the Diviner series, I would say this would be good for fans of Truly Devious. I think you would really enjoy this. So this series is set in the 1920s. You meet Evie, who honestly I can't stand. Evie has power. She is a diviner. If she holds your possessions, she can tell you your deepest, darkest secret, and the more she holds it, the more she can go into it. Well, one night at a party, Evie gets a little drunk, even though she's not supposed to, because again, it's the 20s. Prohibition is a law. She gets drunk on some giggle juice, as she calls it, and holds a very prominent member of society's son. She holds his ring and finds out that he got his maid pregnant. He has told no one. He gave her money to get rid of it, and Evie lets us all loose because she is drunk at this party. And her parents get very angry with her, tell her she has to apologize. Evie, being the strong, independent woman she is, tells them, hell no, I'm not apologizing. Fuck that. He actually did it. I know it's true. He's just mad because it's true. And so her parents send her to New York to live with her uncle. Her uncle runs the Museum of Occult in something. I know it's occult in history. They call it the Museum of Creepy Crawlies, and her uncle seems to be obsessed with diviners as well, and has an exhibit that has a famous diviner who told the end of days. Well, her uncle gets pulled into solving these murders of these. There's a girl at first, so a girl is murdered, and her uncle is asked to consult because there are some occult kind of leanings in this murder. And Evie goes with him. She acts like she tripped and touches the buckle of the girl's shoe, gets a vision of her murder, and shit takes off from there. There are 3 books before this. I don't want to give you 2 more. I will say each book has its own, like, serial killing entity. And they all sing creepy little fucking songs. And if you listen to the audiobooks, it makes it even better because it sings that creepy song to you. This is book 4. This is a cool conclusion. I have read literally, let's see, I made it to page 12, it looks like, before I put it down. So, I really want to finish this series and enjoy it. Like I said, though, I've been listening to them all, so it's a little hard for me going in physically reading because I'm so used to the audiobooks, but I can't find the audiobook for King of Crows anywhere. Next is one that I'm hoping my library will get to me on audiobook before the end of July. If not, then I may end up physically reading it. We shall see. And that is War Storm by Victoria Aveyard. This is the last one in the Red Queen series. If you've never heard of this series, I don't know where you've been. I would recommend this for fans of, is it Legend by Marie Lu? I think it is because I didn't finish it. I kind of want to finish it. It's up here actually. My copy's up here. Because it's in like, do I want to donate? Do I not want to donate pile? Because I guess the ending from the beginning, so I didn't know if I want to go into it anymore. But this follows Mare Barrow. In Mare's world, you are divided by your blood. If you have red blood, you are basically a slave. You work all day, have very little to look forward to in life. If you are silver, you are put on a pedestal. You have everything in life. And Mare is worried about being conscripted. So if you're red, you get to the age 16, you have a chance of you'll have to go fight in the war. And Mare ends up meeting a boy one night when she sneaks out and is talking to him about her life and everything. And come to find out, that boy just happened to be a fucking prince. And said prince gives her a job at the palace to save her from conscription. And when she's serving at the palace, she's a servant. She goes to help to serve onto one of the silver families and gets knocked into Queen's trial into a electric dome. And when everybody watches her do this, the silvers are laughing, thinking she's about to die, and she does not die. come to find out, she may have red blood, but she also has powers, which only the Silvers are supposed to have. And now the royal family has to cover up her existence. And they decide, we're going to paint you and make you a princess and say that you are from a lost family of Silvers and that's how you got there. And shit starts to happen. This is the last one. I have read the first 3 twice now, and I'm ready for Warstorm. I did not remember how King's Cage ended, and now that I do, I just want to go crawl in bed and learn what happens to Mir and our found family that I absolutely love. Next is one that my heart's already smiling, knowing that it's on my TBR list, knowing that I'm going to pick it up this month, because this month I live in Texas. It's already hot and awful and dreary, and knowing I have this book waiting for me is just the best. And that is The Sinister Mystery of the Mesmerizing Girl by Fedora Goss. So this is the last one in the Athena Club series. This is the third. The first one is The Strange Case of an Alchemist's Daughter. So this follows our family of girls. You are first introduced to Mary. Mary is on the brink of destitution. Her mother has passed, and all their money was coming from her mother's living diary that her parents left for her. Well, now that she's passed, that money is no longer available to Mary. And Mary goes to see her mother's accountant, and he tells her, your mom had this Hyde. She's been paying for this Hyde person to live in this home. If you go get them, you can save X amount and live this much longer. And Mary's like, wait, if it's Dr. Hyde, he's wanted for murder. There is a price on his head. I can turn him in and live longer and keep keep my servants that I love on for longer and give them a home and everything. And so she decides, okay, that's what we're gonna do. And come to find out, she does not find Hyde, the man. She finds Diana Hyde, the girl. And shit takes off from there. It's so good. My favorite part of these novels are the fact that the girls, let me see if I can, yes, okay, I want to make sure there's no spoilers before I show you this. So as you can see here, the girls butt in throughout all the books. They bicker back and forth, and I smile and giggle because I have 3 sisters. I'm the eldest, and then my sister Desiree is 4 years younger than I. We have one in the middle. My sister's name is actually also Destiny. She is technically 2 years younger than me, but for a little while in the year, we're a year apart, and then she turns the next, and then you understand. And then Nevaeh, who's the baby, me and her are 17 years apart. Her and Olive, funny enough, are a decade apart. But when I read the girls bickering in the pages, and you get pulled out of the story because they are bickering in the middle of the story. It'll be a paragraph, one of them will say something, and then the other one will be like, I didn't say that. Why'd you write that? And they're going back and forth on what really happened. It just makes me think of my own sisters and being at home with them and what it feels like to have all of us in one room. So I love this so much, and I can't wait to finish this. And I own them all, so once I finish, I may just go back and do it again. Next is This Coven Won't Break by Isabella Sterling. So this is the second book, and I don't think she has a series name. I think we only got the 2, I believe. So if you've been around the channel for a little while, you'll know that I read These Witches Don't Burn this past month in June for this, because I wanted to make sure I remembered all the characters and I knew what was going on before I jumped into this one. This one's been on my shelf for a little while, and I'm desperate to get to it. This is a sapphic witchy story. So you have Hannah, who is our main character, and her and Veronica just broke up. You don't know what happened. You don't really know what's going on. But her and Veronica broke up. And shit went south pretty fast. And Veronica and Hannah both are elemental witches. They hold that secret near and dear to their heart. Nobody's supposed to know. No regs, which are just people who have no powers, muggles, if you will, are supposed to know. And Hannah believes that there is someone out to get her coven. And through the way, you get to meet Morgan, who is Hannah's new love interest. You meet Hannah's best friend, Gemma, and they become, well, at least those three, you fall in love, and I want more of their shenanigans, and I can't wait to get into this one. Next is another sequel, and this is actually my arc that was gifted to me kindly by the publisher, and that is Witch Hunt. It's another witchy book. This one, if I'm correct, it's set in the past. It's a historical fiction. Weird. Frame I got out. This is a historical fiction that you're following a school, I believe, of witches and the shenanigans they get into, and if I'm correct, they're being hunted as well. Yes. They have a fight between male warlocks, basically, and the witches had a battle and that kind of thing. Like, they're battling it out. So yeah, I have this one, so I'm excited to read it and finish this little duology. There may be a third one. If there is, I will probably read it. I love the first one, and I just did not get a chance to get to the second one as quickly as I wanted to. So yeah. Then there's two more. The next one is one I'm picking up because I read another one of her books, her latest release recently, and just now I needed more of her work. I needed to know if her books before were just as good, and that is Adeline Grace. And I read Belladonna by her last month, and so now I want to pick up All the Stars and Teeth. This is a mermaid. How does somebody put it? A mermaid murder mystery, basically. Lack of a better way to put it. I don't know much, and I want to go into it pretty blind, to be honest. But I have this. I'm hoping it has the same vibe as Belladonna, that has that like creepy unsettlingness. We shall see. And then lastly, for my physical TBR is Dust by Hugh Howey, which is the third in the Wolves trilogy. If you have not seen, Apple TV recently come out with Silo, which is the live action version of these novels, and I'm not sure if the first season that they're doing right now is going to cover what events the first season are going to cover, and I do not want it spoiling the books for me, so I want to read Dust really, really bad. I have finished Frost, and I finished Wool, and so now Wool, Shift, and now Dust. And all it says is Wool introduced the world of the Silo. Shift told the story of its creation. Dust will describe its downfall. And I need to know what happened. This one has a very interesting prologue to Wool. So in Wool, you meet the sheriff, and you're kind of learning a little bit through his eyes of what's going on. By the end of the prologue, that man is dead, and you are thrown into another point of view with no warning, no nothing, and you're like, what the fuck just happened? Wool, I actually picked up, my best friend and I love doing buddy reads with Jessica. It's my favorite thing in the world. We sometimes don't finish the book, and sometimes I finish before her, but I still enjoy every minute of it. I enjoy having someone to discuss my thoughts with, and like live back and forth kind of thing. So Jessica picked out Wool, and I was just like, I don't know about this, dude. I don't know if it's gonna be that good, blah, blah, blah. And I finished it. I don't think she ever finished it. I loved it and finished it. But once I finished that prologue, I remember texting her. I remember sitting in bed, texting her, going, what the fuck did I just read? She's like, right? We need to read the next chapter. So yeah, I have this one left, and I can't wait to read it. I really, really can't. And there you have it. Those are all the books I'm hoping to read this month. I know it's a lot, especially since I haven't been physically reading that much, but I have been picking up more and more physical books and reading a lot more. So hopefully I can get it done. But yeah, I just wanted to give y'all this little bitty video and tell you what I'm going to be reading. Tell me, what are you planning on reading this month? Is there anything good? Are you rereading an old favorite? Have you reread an old favorite recently? If not, I think you should. And I'll see you on my next one. Bye.